Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I've got some news that's been making waves here in New Zealand, and honestly, it's one of those stories that makes you go, wait, what? Let me break it down for you. Okay, so there's this woman named Jacqueline Whaanga, and she's been in the news for all the wrong reasons. Now, if you're not familiar with ACC, it's the Accident Compensation Corporation, right? It's the government body that provides compensation and support to people who've been injured or have a long-term illness in New Zealand. So it's a pretty important part of the healthcare system here. But here's the thing, someone decided to take advantage of that system, and they did it in a way that's just absolutely mind-blowing. Let's get into the details. So Jacqueline Whaanga, along with a few others, Ashley May Tahira, Melody Hapokea Kawarau, and Mohammed Zahid Hussein, were involved in a massive fraud scheme. They submitted over 10,000 fake travel reimbursement claims to the MyACC app between November 1st and 17th, 2023. That's over 10,000 fake claims. Let me just reiterate that, 10,000 fake claims. And guess what? They managed to steal over 1.5 million from ACC. That's not just a lot of money, that's a significant chunk of change. And it's money that could have gone to people who actually need it, people who've been injured, who've had accidents, who need support. The judge who presided over the case had some pretty strong words for Whaanga. He called her one of the most self-entitled women he's seen in court all year. That's a pretty harsh label, right? But considering what she did, I can see why. The judge also mentioned that she wasn't present for her sentencing hearing, which is something that's pretty unusual. She was granted bail with a 24-hour curfew, but she didn't show up, and then she was arrested. So the judge sentenced her to 8 months of home detention, which is longer than the sentences given to her co-offenders. That's interesting because it shows that the judge saw her as the main player in this whole operation. Let's talk about how this fraud actually worked. The scheme involved a coordinated effort with over 100,000 other ACC clients who submitted fake claims using fabricated addresses and reasons for travel. That's a lot of people working together to defraud the system, and the timing of these claims was suspicious too. They were often submitted within 15 minutes of each other. That's not just random, that's organized. It's like they had a script, a timeline, and they were following it to the letter. So they were really planning this out, and they were really good at it, which is why they managed to pull off such a large-scale fraud. The impact of this fraud was significant. ACC had to temporarily shut down the MyACC app, which is the online platform where people can submit their claims. That's a big deal because it disrupted legitimate claims. People who were actually injured and needed to submit their claims for compensation were now facing delays and potential issues. That's not just a problem for ACC, it's a problem for the people who rely on that system. It's like a ripple effect, and it's not just affecting the people who were defrauding the system, it's affecting everyone else who uses that service. What's the takeaway from all of this? Well, first of all, it's a wake-up call for ACC and other government agencies that there are people out there who are willing to go to extreme lengths to defraud the system. It's also a reminder that even the most secure systems can be vulnerable if there's enough coordination and planning behind the fraud. And then there's the personal aspect of this story. Jacqueline Whaanga, the woman who was labeled as one of the most self-entitled women by the judge, she's now facing the consequences of her actions. She's going to be on home detention for 8 months, and she's going to be judicially monitored. That's not a light sentence, and it's a clear message from the court that what she did was not okay. I want to take a moment to talk about the other co-offenders. Ashley May Tahira, Melody Hapokea Kawarau, and Mohammed Zahid Hussein were also involved in this scheme. They pleaded guilty to accessing a computer system for dishonest purposes and faced additional charges of failing to appear in court. So they were all part of this operation, but the judge saw Whaanga as the main player. That's interesting because it shows that even within a group, some people take on more responsibility than others. And in this case, Whaanga was the one who took the lead, which is why she received the harshest sentence, and it's supposed to protect people who are injured or who have long-term illnesses. But if people can find ways to exploit that system, then there's a problem. It's not just about the people who are committing the fraud, it's also about the people who are in charge of protecting the system. So there's a need for better security measures, better monitoring, and better ways to detect fraud before it happens. I want to end this video with a question for you, the viewer. Do you think the sentences given to Whaanga and her co-offenders were fair, or do you think they should have been harsher? And more importantly, what can be done to prevent this kind of fraud from happening in the future? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our future content. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more updates.